Want to change your life without burning out? Start small. In this video, we'll break down Atomic Habits by James Clear, the life-changing book that shows how tiny changes make a huge difference. Stay till the end for practical tips you can use today. Introduction. What if I told you that the biggest changes in your life won't come from giant leaps or crazy motivation, but from tiny habits so small you might not even notice them? There's the secret behind Atomic Habits by James Clear. This book reveals how making just a 1% improvement each day can completely transform your life in areas such as health, career, relationships, and more. But here's the twist, it's not about doing more, it's about doing less, smarter. In this video, I will break down the core lessons, powerful strategies, and real life examples that will help you build habits that stick. Let's dive in. Chapter 1, The 1% Rule. What if I told you that the secret to transforming your health, wealth mindset isn't some massive overhaul, but something as simple as getting 1% better every day? Sounds too small to matter, right? But according to James Clear in Atomic Habits, this tiny improvement repeated consistently leads to results so massive, they'll completely change your life. In this video, we are breaking down chapter 1 of Atomic Habits, the 1% rule, also known as the aggregation of marginal gains. Stick with me, this one idea can reshape your entire future. The big idea. James Clear starts by showing how small habits repeated over time compound, just like interest in a saving account. Think of it like this. If you improve by just 1% each day, you will be 37 times better at anything by the end of the year. But the same is true in reverse. If you get just 1% hours every day, you won't notice at first, until one day everything collapses. The chapter teaches us that the most powerful outcomes don't come from one big moment. They come from tiny, consistent changes, the plateau of latent potential. Now, here's where most people go wrong. We expect change to happen fast. We go to the gym for 2 weeks, eat a few salads, save a little money, and we don't see instant results. We give up. James calls the plateau of latent potential. It's a gap between the effort we put in and the results we expect. But growth doesn't happen in a straight line, it's exponential. The beginning always feels slow and invisible until suddenly the results explode. The key is to stick with it long enough for the compounding to kick in. Real life examples. James uses a brilliant example from British cycling. For decades, they were terrible. Until they focused on making dozens of tiny 1% improvements, they optimized everything the cyclist says. Their sleep quality, the fabrics they wore, even how they wash their hands within 5 years. They dominated the Olympics and the Tour de France. There's a power of marginal gains. Each one seems small, but together they lead to massive change. How do you apply the 1% rule today? So, how can I apply this in real life? It starts with identifying one habit that aligns with the kind of person you want to become. Then break it down until it's so easy. You can't say no. Want to read more? Start with 1 page a day. Want to get fit? Do 5 push ups. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be consistent. The goal isn't make a huge leap today, it's a show up every day and let the compound effect do the rest. Visual idea graph of exponential growth. Chapter 2, Focus on Systems. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your system. Sounds intense, right? But this simple mindset shift might be the key to unlocking everything you have been struggling with. Today, we are diving into Chapter 2 of Atomic Habits by James Clear, one of the most powerful lessons in the entire book. If you have ever felt like you are chasing goals but not getting anywhere, this video is for you. Stick around, this could change the way you approach success forever. The problem with goals. Let's face it, everyone sets goals, lose weight, make more money, get more followers, but here's what James Clear wants us to realize. Goals don't guarantee results. Winners and losers often have the same goals. So, what separates them? It's not what they want, it's how they work. This is where systems come in. Goals focus on the outcome, but systems focus on the process that gets you there. Here's the danger with being goal obsessed. You delay happiness, you tell yourself, I'll be happy when I get fit, or I'll finally feel successful when I hit 1 million subscribers, but until then, you feel like a failure. Worse, when you do achieve a goal, you often fall back into your old habits. That is because the goal was a one time event, not a lasting transformation. Goals are temporary, but systems build identity, and identity lasts. James Clear suggests we flip the script. Instead of saying, I want to write a best selling book, build a system like I'll write one page every morning at 7 a.m. Instead of saying, I want to be a YouTube star, build a system where you consistently post one high quality video every week. This magic. Systems create momentum that give you daily wins, and over time, they turn into the bad habits that shape who you become. Need proof this works? Take the story of British cycling team. For years they were terrible, like embarrassingly bad. Then they stopped focusing on winning medals instead of focused on improving any aspects of their daily routine. Optimizing their seats, improving their sleep, and hanging their uniforms, these small systems to led to a massive transformation. They ended up winning multiple Olympic golds and dominating the Tour de France. There's the power of system over goals. Why do most people fall to stick to new habits? It's not because they are lazy, it's not even about motivation. The real reason they are trying to change the outcome, not their identity. In today's video, we are diving deep into one of the most powerful concepts from Atomic Habits, identity based habits. This idea alone can help you break bad habits and build powerful new ones and completely transform how you see yourself. Let's break it down. When we want to change something in our lives, we usually start with what we want to achieve. I want to lose weight, I want to earn more money, or I want to read more books. James Clear explains that this is the wrong place to start. Most people build habits around outcomes, not identities, but outcomes are temporary. Identity is permanent. If you want to build habits that last, you have to start from the inside out. Clear explains that behavior change happens on three levels: outcomes, process, and identity. Outcomes are about what you get, processes are about what you do, but identity is about what you believe. Let's say you want to become a runner. If you focus only on the outcome, I want to run a marathon, you will only train until race day. But if you build the identity, I'm a runner, then running becomes a part of who you are. It's not something you do, it's something you live. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you believe you are. So if you write one sentence, you cast a vote for being a writer. If you make one healthy meal, you cast a vote for being someone who cares about their body. Over time, those votes add up and reinforce your identity. And here's the secret: you don't need to be perfect, you just need to casting votes. The more you show up as a person you want to become, the more your brain believes it's true. Imagine someone trying to quit smoking. When offered a cigarette, one person says, no thanks, I'm trying to quit. The other says, no thanks, I'm not a smoker. See the difference? The person still identifies as a smoker who's just resisting temptation. The second person has shifted their identity, and that identity drives the behavior. There's a power of identity based habits is deeper, stronger, and way more sustainable than relying on willpower alone. So here's your challenge. Don't ask, what do I want to achieve? Ask, what do I want to become? Then start building small daily habits that prove it to yourself. Want to be a reader? Read one page a day. Want to be fit? Do one push up a day. Small actions, big identity shifts. Drop a comment below and tell me, what identity are you working on? I'll be replying to the best ones. Chapter 4. What if there was a step by step formula to build any habit you want and break the ones that are holding you back? In Chapter 4 of Atomic Habits, James Clear reveals exactly that. The four laws of behavior change whether you want to wake up early, hit the gym, or stop doom scrolling. This is the blueprint. In the next few minutes, I'll break down each law, explain how it works, and show you how to use it in real life. So stick with me. This is a chapter that turns knowledge into action. Before we dive into the laws, here's what you need to know. Every habit, good or bad, follows four-step loop. Cue, craving, response, and reward. These are the building blocks of behavior. James Clear then flips these into four powerful laws to help you build better habits and break bad ones. Ready? Let's dive in. The first law is make it obvious. Your brain needs clear signals to know when to act. Want to drink more water? Don't rely on memory. Put a water bottle on your desk. Want to stretch in the morning? Lay your yoga mat by your bed. This law is all about shaping your environment, make the cue so obvious that you can't ignore it. And when it comes to bad habits, do the opposite. Make the cues invisible, out of sight, out of mind. The second law is make it attractive. Our brains are wired to respond to rewards and anticipation. So if you want to make a bad stick, make it enjoyable. Stake your new habit with something fun. For example, I'll go for a walk while listening to my favorite podcast. This is called temptation bundling. You pair something you do need to do, something you want to do, and that makes the craving stronger. The third law, make it easy. We often think we need to go big to see results. But James Clear flips the idea. Habits stick when they are simple. Want to start reading daily? Start with just one page. Want to start journaling? Just write one sentence, reduce friction, remove obstacles, and most importantly, automate it when possible. The easier it to start, the more likely you are to follow through. And finally, make it satisfying. Your brain needs to feel good after doing something, or it won't repeat it. That's why tracking your progress, checking off a habit tracker, or giving yourself a tiny reward can work wonders. Even a small win creates momentum. On the flip side, if you are breaking a bad habit, make the consequences immediate and painful, not delayed and forgettable. Make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. These four laws are your cheat code to behave your change. Master them, and you will have the power to design your habits instead of letting your habits design your life. Chapter 5. Make it obvious. Have you ever planned to build a habit like reading more or working out and then completely forgotten to do it? You are not alone. In Chapter 5 of Atomic Habits, James Clear reveals a powerful truth. If you want a habit to stick, you have to make it obvious. In this video, we'll break down exactly what that means and how a few small tweaks to your environment and routine can dramatically increase the chances of it showing up. Ready to stop missing your habits? Let's dive in. Here's the thing, our brains are constantly scanning for cues. These cues trigger our habits, good or bad. The problem is most of our positive habits are invisible. We don't see the book we want to read. We forget the gym clothes buried in the closet. Out of sight, out of habit. That's why James Clear says the first law of behavior change is make it obvious, because when your habits are visible and easy to notice, your brain knows exactly what to do. One of the best techniques from this chapter is called habit stacking. It's simple but powerful. You take a habit you already do, like brushing your teeth or making a coffee, and stack your new habit right after it. For example, after I pour my morning coffee, I'll read one page of a book. This works because it ties a new habit to an existing routine, make it more obvious and more automatic. Over time, your brain starts linking the two behaviors together and suddenly that new habit doesn't feel so hard anymore. James also talked about the importance of environmental design, basically, setting up your surroundings to support your habits. Want to eat healthier? Put a bowl of fruit on the kitchen counter instead of hiding it in the fridge. Want to practice guitar more? Leave your guitar in the middle of the room, not in a closet. The goal is to design your space so the cues for good habits are loud and clear. Because when your environment whispers your intentions, your actions start to follow. And here's the flip side: if you want to break a bad habit, make it invisible. If you are trying to cut back on social media, delete the app or move it to a folder. If you want to stop watching late night Netflix, unplug the TV after dinner. Your environment can trigger you into a bad habit just as easily as it can encourage a good one. So make the bad stuff harder to see and the good stuff impossible to miss. Example: after I brush my teeth, I'll write in my journal. Chapter 6: what if I told you that a simple habit used by Japanese train operators could make you 85% less likely to make mistakes? Sounds crazy, right? But it's true. This technique is called pointing and calling, and in this video, we'll break down how it works and how you can use it to stay sharp, avoid errors, and even save lives. Pointing and calling is a safety ritual where you physically point at an object, verbally confirm its status. For example, a train conductor might point at a signal and say, "Signal green, clear." This forces your brain to engage multiple senses, reducing autopilot mistakes. Studies show it cuts error by up to 85% in high risk jobs. But here's the cool part: you don't have to be a train driver to use it. How to apply it? Want to try it? Here's how. Morning routine: point at your keys and key. Got them. Before leaving, no more frantic searches. At work, point at your email attachment and say "attachment attached" before hitting send. Gym safety: point at the weights and say "locked secure" before lifting. It feels silly at first, but there's a point. By breaking autopilot, you force focus. Your brain loves shortcut, which is why we make dumb mistakes. Pointing and calling disrupts that by adding physical action plus speech plus sight. This triple check activates different brain regions, making errors way harder to miss. Even pilots and surgeons use versions of this. Tip: physically say what you are doing to notice patterns. Chapter 7: think about it. If junk food is in your pantry, you will eat it. If your phone is next to your bed, you will scroll the first thing in the morning. Your environment controls your habits, often without you even realizing it. The good news: you can engineer your surroundings to make success inevitable. Whether it's productivity, fitness, or creativity, today's strategies will help you remove friction from good habits and add friction to bad ones. Step 1: make the right choices easy. Want to read more? Leave a book on your pillow instead of your phone. Want to work out? Lay your gym clothes the night before. Reduce the number of steps between you and the habit you want. Pro tip: if social media is stealing your focus, move the app off your home screen or use a focus app. Out of sight, out of mind. Step 2: make distractions hard to access. Ever sat down to work and suddenly found yourself deep in YouTube? Yeah, we have all been there. The solution: add friction. Log out for social media after each use. Use website blockers during work hours. Or my favorite setup, a distraction free zone. Where only work happens, a small barrier create big behavior shifts. Step 3: surround yourself with triggers for success. Visual cues are powerful. Place your guitar in the living room if you want to practice more. Keep a water bottle on your desk to stay hydrated. Even motivational quotes or a vision board can keep your brain focused on what matters. Your environment should constantly whisper, "Hey, do the thing." Message: environment matters more than motivation. Example: place a book on your pillow to trigger reading at night. Chapter 8: why do some habits stick effortlessly while others feel like a constant struggle? The answer lies in one word: attraction. If your habits feel boring or hard, you are doing it wrong. In this video, we are breaking down Chapter 8 of Atomic Habits, Make It Attractive and Revealing how to heal your brain to crave good habits. Stick around because this could change everything. Let's be honest, most of us rely on willpower to build habits. We force ourselves to eat healthy, hit the gym, or wake up early, but it feels like a battle. Why? Because we haven't made the habit attractive. James Clear explains that behavior is driven by anticipation. We act based on how we expect an action to make us feel. If your brain doesn't associate a habit with pleasure, you will keep resisting it. Here's a game changer: your brain releases dopamine not just when you experience pleasure, but when you anticipate it. That's why scrolling social media is addictive. Your brain expects rewards, likes, messages, funny videos. The key to making habit stick: link them to something enjoyable. Pair your workout with a great playlist, reward reading with a cozy coffee ritual, or turn chores into a fun challenge. The more attractive the habit, the less willpower you'll need. So, how do you make habits irresistible? Two powerful techniques. Temptation bundling. Combine something you need to do with something you want to do. Example: only watch your favorite Netflix show while on the treadmill. Reframing your mindset: shift from "I have to" "I get to." Instead of "I have to wake up early," say "I get to start my day with peace and productivity." Words shape emotions and emotions drive action. Strategy: temptation bundling. Pair an action you want to do with one you need to do. Example: watch Netflix only while on the treadmill. Chapter 9: the role of social influence. Ever bought something just because everyone else was doing it, or change your opinion because someone you admired said so? There's social influence at work, and it affects you more than you think. The role of social influence: how the people around us shape our choices, often without us even realizing it. And hey, if you are new here, don't forget to like and subscribe, because let's be honest, see, those high subscriber counts influences new viewers too. Social influence is when our behavior, opinions, or decisions are affected by others. It happens in three main ways: conformity, compliance, and obedience. Think viral trends, peer pressure, or even why you trust a product with thousands of 5-star reviews. Why do TikTok challenges go viral? Why do restaurants with long lines seem more appealing? Because we trust the crowd. Studies show we are more likely to like a YouTube video if it already has thousands of likes. There's the algorithm and social influence working together. So, how can you use this knowledge? First, be aware. Ask yourself if you are choosing because you want to or because others are doing it. Second, leverage it positively. Surround yourself with people who inspire growth. And third, if you are a creator, use social proof, encourage engagement to boost your video's reach. Fact: we imitate the habits of groups we admire. Tip: join communities where your desired behavior is a norm. Chapter 10: make it easy. Why is it so hard to stick to good habits? Because we make them too difficult. In this video, you'll learn how to make it easy, the game-changing strategy from Atomic Habits that helps you build habits effortlessly. Stay till the end for a simple trick that guarantees results. We have all been there. You set a goal, you are motivated, but when it's time to act, it feels like a chore. The secret: stop relying on willpower. Instead, design your environment so the right choice is the easiest one. Our brains are wired to conserve energy. If a habit requires too much effort, we avoid it. But if it's frictionless, we are more likely to do it. James Clear calls this the 2-minute rule. Start so small you can't say no. Here's how to make it easy. Reduce friction. Want to exercise? Lay out your workout clothes the night before. Prime your environment. Keep healthy snacks at eye level and junk food out of sight. Chapter 11. Automate your habits. What if I told you that you could achieve your goals without relying on willpower? Sounds too good to be true. Well, science says it's possible by automating your habits. Stick around because this might just change your life. This is a game changer you have been waiting for. How to make success automatic. And trust me, that YouTube algorithm loves this kind of content. So smash that like button and let's get started. Here's the truth, willpower falls. Relying on motivation alone is like building a house on sand. But what if you could design your environment so that good habits happen effortlessly? That's habit automation and it's a key to long term success. First, use triggers. Pair a new habit with an existing one, like doing 10 push ups right after brushing your teeth. Second, design your environment. Keep fruits on the counter, hide junk food, or leave your workout clothes by your bed. Third, leverage technology apps, reminders, and even smart devices can nudge you in the right direction. Think about the top performance. They don't waste energy deciding. Their habits run on autopilot. You can do the same. Start small, stack habits, and remove friction. Before you know it, you will be unstoppable. Chapter 12. Make it satisfying. Ever started a new habit like going to the gym or eating healthy only to quit after a few days? You are not alone. The problem isn't your willpower, it's that your brain isn't getting the right reward. In this video, we are breaking down chapter 12. Make it satisfying from atomic habits and how can you use this to build habits that stick. Stay tuned. This one's a game changer. Our brains are wired to prefer immediate rewards over long term benefits. That's why we scroll social media instead of working out. It feels good now. James Clear explains to make a habit stick. You need to make it satisfying in the moment. The more rewarding an action feels, the more likely we'll repeat it. One way to do this, use the 2-minute rule. Make the first step of your habit so easy you can't say no. Want to read more? Start with just 2 minutes. The key? Celebrate immediately. After, give yourself a mental high five or check off a habit tracker. This small win tricks your brain into craving more. Chapter 13 to 17. Advanced Tactics. You have got the basic down, now it's time to level up. Welcome to Advanced Tactics, where we break down the high level strategies that separate the pros from the beginners. Whether you are climbing ranks or just want to outsmart your opponents, these techniques will give you the edge. Stick around because this is where the real game begins. First up, positioning. Most players rush in blindly, but pros know every angle matters. We analyze zone control, flanking routes, and escape paths. The key, always play where you have the advantage. Think like a chess master. Predict, adapt, and strike when they least expect it. Ever fallen for an obvious trap? Yeah, have all been there. It's all about psychological warfare. Learn how to bait enemies into overcommitting, fake weakness to lure them in, and use feints to control the pace of battle. The best players don't just win fights, they win the mental game. Winners don't just fight, they control resources. Let's dive into objective priority, cooldown tracking, and economy management. Whether it's ammo, abilities, or map control, mastering this means your enemy is always one step behind. One trick on cut it at high levels. It will teach you to adapt on the fly. Study your opponent's habits, switch tactics mid-game, and exploit their weakness. Flexibility is the mark of a true master. Even lone wolves need teamwork. It covers communication, role optimization, and how to deal with unreliable teammates. Whether you are solo or in a squad, these strategies ensure you are the MVP every time. You are just learned the science of tiny changes, remarkable results. But before you go, let's lock in the most powerful lessons from atomic habits that will rear your life. This isn't just theory, it's your blueprint to success. James Clear's message is simple. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your systems. 1% better every day compounds into unstoppable growth. Identity change based motivation, you are what you repeat. Environment design is your secret weapon. Master the habit loop, cue craving response rewards, small shifts, massive result. Here, where 90% of people fail. They focus on the goal, not the system. Want to read more? Don't say I'll read 50 books this year. Say I'll read 2 pages every night. Tiny, effortless, inevitable, there's an atomic difference. Now take action today. Pick one habit and make it obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. Then drop a comment below what's your atomic habit. Let's keep each other accountable, and if this helped, smash that like button. It tells YouTube this content matters, so we can help more people. Subscribe for more life changing breakdowns. Remember, every master was once a disaster, every expert started as a beginner. It's not about being perfect, it's about showing up. One small step at a time. You have got this.